that shows a high concentration of Lyme disease in the northeastern United States.
6th generation Jerseyite who's had Lyme disease for somewhere around 20 years now. If you haven't watched the video that I stitched, definitely check it out. It gives a good overview of Lyme disease and where it's concentrated, and even a bit about the exclusivity of treatment. But it's even worse than some people might want to believe. Okay, so I first got it when I was 11, but it took almost a year to diagnose. And in that year, I saw 12 different specialists, gave 50 vials of blood, took 12 MRIs. That is not exaggeration, literally 12 MRIs. I am now very claustrophobic, but back then I wasn't. And first off, do you know how many of the doctors suggested that I might be making up or exaggerating my symptoms? Which was tough enough. Because Lyme disease is super painful. Like, yes, it starts out with flu-like symptoms. That stinks. But then it morphs into pain. For me, specifically concentrated on my neck and shoulders. So I was an active kid. I did gymnastics, dancing, karate. And everything began to hurt. I couldn't do that stuff anymore. It really was tough. When you have a bunch of doctors being like, you're making it up, it was a living hell. But finally, my parents did research on about Lyme disease and where it's concentrated. I ended up finding a specialist in Connecticut. And here's the kicker. It doesn't always show up in blood tests, especially right away. So when they kept testing my blood, it wasn't showing up. It literally didn't show up in my blood until years later. But thankfully, my parents had found a doctor who decided that I had enough symptoms that matched it perfectly. He was going to treat me for Lyme. Fast forward a few years, my symptoms would come back. I went to chiropractors, physical therapy, acupuncture, you name it. Because my treatment for Lyme included antibiotics. That was it. And so it can lie dormant in your system. So the years go by, symptoms kept getting worse and worse. And so I tested again and it came out positive. By the way, it's not just me. Even my dog has Lyme disease. Every time they test him, he tests positive for it. So it's our area. It's where we live. But it's so painful, right? And so this time I test positive. And so this time that I get it, my mom talks to these ladies who also have Lyme disease. And they're like, you can't go to a regular physician or a specialist, like a regular specialist. You have to go to a Lyme disease specialist, somebody who focuses just on Lyme disease. So I did some research and I found some. I was like, oh my gosh, I might actually get to experience a life without like pain. I might get to spend time like at home, away from physical therapy? How cool. Until I got on the phone with the first specialist. And she said that just to see me, just for a 45-minute consultation. Honestly, I don't even know if it was Zoom or in person. If it was a Zoom, even worse than I think. But she charged $2,000 for that consultation. That did not include treatment or anything else. She did not take insurance. So I thought, man, what a racket. Is this woman a scammer? And so I go to the next one. She set up the same way. Go to the next specialist. Same thing. So this is a real thing. And so I don't know very much about how these specialists are set up and all that. What I do know is your average person cannot afford $2,000 for a 45-minute consultation plus treatments and everything else. Heck, even your above average person can't afford that. I don't know who can afford that besides, but I can't picture anybody who can really pay that except for like elite celebrities, like that video was saying before. And Lyme disease does like really weird things to you. If you're squeamish, like fast forward a few seconds. But like all my joints pop like nonstop, like all the time, because it left me with psoriatic arthritis. And so now I'm being treated for psoriatic arthritis because thank gosh I have an amazing primary care physician. He is both a PhD and an MD. But like, there's still pain all the time. Like, I'm holding my phone to make this video. My shoulder's killing me. It's just something that us Lyme and arthritic people are kind of used to. I hate to say it. After 20 years, like, this is life. I'm not making this to be a sob story. I actually made a previous video about my Gittleman's syndrome, and I've been amazed to see how many people have written on there like, oh my gosh, I have Gittleman's too, because Gittleman's is way more rare than Lyme disease. And that is something that I was born with. So I'm hoping that, some of you will see this video. And if you or somebody that you know maybe is struggling with Lyme or the things that come with it, you are so not alone. The system is so deeply flawed. We should not have to live in pain. There are remedies, though. There are certain remedies that I would not recommend. So, for example, my doctor put me on Neurontin. Some of the neurological issues that came along with Lyme, And it was so bad. When I was taking that, I said, I will never take another medication in my life again, ever. I actually stuck to that for a while. So much so that I became a certified hemp grower in New Jersey, because I was like, it can help the inflammation. Then that became a whole thing. Growing hemp is not exactly easy. So my doctor has me on very low dose medications that help with inflammation. It is such a world of difference. So that's the other thing. I had certain days where like I had trouble even lifting my head up and getting out of bed. Like the pain was that bad. I wish I would have known that there are medications and things for inflammation. If you are suffering, you don't need to. Natural medicines and things are great, like the hemp that I grew. But once you get to a certain point, a doctor's intervention might be critical so that you don't suffer more than you need to. So over the last 20 years, though, I'd like to fancy myself as something of a Lyme disease Wikipedia page. I know a lot, but I'm not exactly an expert, and there might be some inaccuracies. But if you want to ask me about, I don't know, anything, always happy to share and relate and hear your stories as well. This is a community. We're in this together. Community is the one thing that makes this kind of thing bearable.